What's up, guys? We have some massive burn news. It looks like there's a strong chance we could see a massive burn here very shortly. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And we're also going to look at Terra Classic and Luna 2, which continue to crash. We'll look at some price predictions. And before we get into all that, we're going to quickly look at the Bitcoin price and where the entire crypto market is headed. All right, so this is Bitcoin, and past couple days, we've had some great swing trade opportunities here, and we called this breakout, we called this breakout, and we called this pump too. And it's come down a little bit, but I'm actually still in a small long position. Let me show you guys. Here it is. Here's my trade. Still up 95% in profits. It was a little higher yesterday, but still up 95%. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to get in on these trades with me, get these trade alerts. And why am I still in my trade? Well, I think there's a strong chance we could see a massive pump here in the month of June. We're way over. We've been going straight down for a few months now, and we're due for a bounce here. Now, of course, there is the possibility we could just come right back down, but I think there's a good chance we could pump here pretty soon in the next week or two. So it looks like we have some, for the short term here, it looks like we have some ascending support here. If we break that support, then we'll probably come down and retest support down here at 28,800. If we break that, then we'll see a big dump down to 26 or 27,000. But if we can break above this, well, we have a few different resistance above us. So we got this descending resistance here, we have a longer time frame descending resistance, and we have this horizontal resistance at 32,000. So we're going to need to break through those. The big one to watch is 32,000. If we can break through that and make a higher high, then we'll likely see a nice pump up to around 35,000. So let's zoom out here for a little bit and see what this looks like. Yeah, so we've been going straight down 9 red weeks in a row. That's an all-time record for Bitcoin. So definitely due for a bounce here. I think we're going to see it in June. And then also another thing to look at here is on the weekly, the RSI, the last time it was this low was way back in March of 2020. And what did we see after that? We saw this massive bull run all the way from $4,000 to $65,000. So you have to consider that we could be in that situation right now. You have to consider, I mean, of course it's possible we could dump lower. We could still dump to 20,000. I've said for months my worst case scenario is 20,000, and I still believe that. But you also have to consider the possibility that this was the bottom here, and we could be in this situation where now we're just gonna go on a huge pump on a bull market. So that's always possible. And I mean, it looks quite similar already. We have two small green candles almost identical to here. So you have to be prepared for both scenarios. And most people right now are saying, like everyone's saying, oh, we're going to go lower. But you also have to consider the possibility that this was the bottom and we're about to go up for a while. So that's Bitcoin. Let's move over to Terra Classic and Luna 2. Not quite so beautiful. They just keep crashing lower every day. And yeah, buying these right now is extremely risky. I think it's more likely we're just going to keep going down. The trend is your friend till the end. There's always the possibility that it could suddenly reverse, but personally, I am not going to buy either of these right now until we at least see the price stabilize and flatten out, because I think there's just way too much risk of this going lower, especially with all the shadiness surrounding Do Kwon right now. Once he's investigated, and if he's found innocent of all this, and he's investigated and he comes out clean, then we could potentially see Luna 2 pump super hard. But there's also the possibility he gets investigated and is convicted of criminal activity, and then potentially Luna 2 could be dead at that point and go pretty much to zero. So definitely very risky. So moving on to this huge burn news, this could at least help Terra Classic out if this goes through. So massive burn news here. We have a new proposal to burn 1.2% of all transactions, and it would just keep burning until the supply got down to 10 billion. So if this passes, we could finally see some massive burns. And right now we have 72% voting yes. 33% of the votes are in so far, and we have to get at least to this quorum for this to pass, and we're actually super close here. So we're super close. It ends in 2 days, so it looks like there's a strong chance this could actually pass, which is pretty crazy. So people need to hurry up and vote. And actually, if you hold Luna on Terra Station, you can actually come here and vote. You just click on this vote button up here, and you can vote on this. So everybody go vote yes on this so we can get this thing passed and finally start seeing some massive burns and get that price pumping. So 2 days, I'll be keeping tabs on this, seeing if this passes or not, and letting you guys know. So subscribe if you want to stay updated with that. And then last thing here, if this passes, can we get Terra Classic to $1? I'm sorry guys, I hate to break it to you, but gotta be real with you. I don't think $1 is going to happen, and that is because you would have to burn, the supply is 6.5 trillion right now. You'd have to get it down to about 400 million currently to get to $1. So basically, you'd have to burn way over 99% of the supply. Basically have to burn almost the entire supply. So in theory, you could eventually get there if you just kept burning long enough, but it would take a very long time, so I would not count on $1 anytime soon. However, massive gains are still possible because 1 cent's actually possible, and that's almost a 200x. So 1 cent, if you do the math, 1 cent is possible because that, even with 0 burns, it's possible. Now, if this burn proposal passes, that will help and get us there faster. But even with 0 burns, if you do the math, we could get there because that would put us at a market cap of about 60 to 70 billion, which Dogecoin got up there last year. So we know it's possible. But I do think we would need to be in a bull market to see that. So maybe in a year or two or a few years, however long it takes, whenever crypto's back in a bull market, then we could possibly see Terra Classic get to 1 cent. So what am I doing? I'm just holding a small amount of Terra Classic because if this thing dies and I lose my money, it's no big deal. It's just a small amount. But if we do eventually hit 1 cent, then that small amount of money will turn into a large amount of money. But it is very risky, so most of my crypto portfolio I'm holding in much safer things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, etc. And just holding a small amount here. So hopefully we can see this thing, hopefully this burn proposal passes. Hopefully we can see this thing eventually get to 1 cent and see that sweet 200x gain. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.